Shabbat Shalom, everyone. I'm coming today with a video titled, Could This COVID Shot Be the Mark of the Beast? Forgive me for the noise in the background. My girls, as usual, being the loving ladies that they are. And then I got my precious son with me too. So let's jump right into scripture without further ado. It says, Revelations chapter 13, verse 16 through 19. And the scripture says, and he causeth all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a mark in their right hand or in their foreheads, and that no man might buy or sell save he that had the mark or the name of the beast or the number of his name. So how does this scripture prove, or could prove, that the COVID shot is the mark of the beast? Well, I went online and I kind of Googled some things. And one of the things that I found was this. It says from today's news, it says, will the COVID-19 vaccine be mandatory? What the law says. It says, can the government or your employer make the COVID-19 vaccine compulsory? I mean, basically what they're saying is, could they force you to get the shot in order for you to keep your job? Is that, one thing that the government or the powers that be can do? And at the end of this video, we're going to try to see how we can tie all this in to the scripture. So let's keep going. It says, as December started, a member of the New York State Assembly proposed a bill to require COVID-19 vaccines for all residents who are able to safely receive it. And in November, the New York State Bar Association recommended the state consider making it mandatory for all residents to get the shot, except those exempted by doctors. Let's keep going here. I found some more clips here. Let's get this one. It says, Canadians may face travel restrictions for years if coronavirus vaccine not available for everyone. So basically, we already are starting to see that this COVID shot or this vaccine is not for what they're really saying it's for. I don't really think that it's for your protection on you not getting the virus, or to protect you from contracting the virus. And I have my reasons behind it. So let's keep going here. This one's from the CNBC Health and Science, where it says what people might not be able, be allowed to do if they don't get vaccinated. Some key points here. It says coronavirus vaccines are now being rolled out worldwide. Listen at that, worldwide. Some have speculated that the vaccine refusers could be banned from flying as well as entering restaurants, shops, and other venues. However, there are ethical considerations, and you can always go back and get that because the video is going real fast here. It says in the UK, 1 in 5 say they are unlikely to take the vaccine, according to YouGov research published in November, citing a variety of different reasons. As a result of the different views, a debate should start to emerge in 2021. Should any restrictions be imposed on people who choose not to get vaccinated, given they can catch and spread the virus? It is a tricky subject, but the governments are already looking at introducing systems that would enable authorities to possibly, give this vaccine out. It says here, suspicions grows that nanoparticles in Pfizer's COVID vaccine can trigger rare allergic reactions. Now, Pfizer is a company that is also making the vaccinations for the COVID-19 virus. It's from the Pfizer BioNTech vaccine. Let's get what nanoparticles are. We're gonna learn about that. Right here from Science News, it says nanoparticle vaccines for COVID-19. This was published January the 8th of 2021. It says researchers are working to develop a single-dose vaccine for SARS-CoV-2 that could potentially be stored at room temperature. Yeah, right. Before the pandemic, the lab of Stanford University biochemist Peter S. Kim focused on a pandemic influenza, but then he ends up, and when you read and continue to read, he ends up finding a vaccine for the COVID SARS-2. And it says their vaccine, detailed in a paper published on January 5th in the ACS Central Science, contains nanoparticles studied with the same proteins that compromise the virus' distinctive surface spikes. In addition to being the reason why they are called coronaviruses, corona in Latin stands for crown. Y'all, this stuff is really deep. I advise y'all to watch Children of Israel out here, and also Lions of Israel. They break down that kind of stuff in gematria. Let's keep going. This is the really early stage, and there's still lots of work to be done, says Abigail Powell, a former postdoctoral scholar in the Kim lab and lead author of the paper. But we think it is a solid starting point for what could be a single-dose vaccine regimen that doesn't rely on using a virus to generate protective antibodies following vaccination. And you can continue to read that if you like. All right, so I also went on ahead and looked up what are the uses of nanoparticles in consumer products. It says nanoparticles are now being used in the manufacture of scratch-proof eyeglasses, crack-resistant paints, anti-graffiti coating for walls, transparent sunscreens, stain-repellent fabrics, and self-cleaning windows, and ceramic coatings for solar cells. It says nanoparticles can contribute to stronger, lighter, cleaner, and smarter surfaces systems. Let's keep going. It says which characteristics of nanoparticles are relevant for health effects. They got up here showing the size and the chemical compositions, the surface characteristics, and shape. It says studies specifically dealing with the toxicity of nanoparticles have only appeared recently and are scarce. Most of the information available comes from studies on inhaled nanoparticles from pharmaceutical studies in which nanomaterials are being used. Here's some more stuff that shows the harmful effects that it can cause on the body. It says inhaled particle matter can be deposited through the human respiratory tract, and important fraction of inhaled nanoparticles deposited in the lungs. Nanoparticles can potentially move from lungs to other organs such as the brain, the liver, the spleen, and possibly the fetus in pregnant women. Y'all, this stuff will wreak havoc on your body. Let's keep going here. It says several hypotheses are proposed for the adverse health effects of nanoparticles as part of ambient air pollution. These hypotheses addresses nanoparticle characteristics and their distribution, their effect on the organ system, including effects on the immune and inflammatory system. So, these things are very toxic. They cause harm to the body, especially the lungs. We're going to jump right into that. It says, what do nanoparticles do to the body? The reason why I'm talking about this is because the Pfizer company that makes the COVID vaccine uses nanoparticles, and it says the effects of inhaled nanoparticles in the body may include lung inflammation and heart problems. Studies in humans show the breathing in diesel suit causes a general inflammatory response and alters the system that regulates the involuntary functions in the cardiovascular system. Come on, y'all. You need your heart and lungs, man, to survive. All right, let's keep going. What are the dangers of nanotechnology? What are the possible dangers of nanotechnology? It says nanoparticles may damage the lungs. Let's get that again. Nanoparticles may damage the lungs. Nanoparticles can get into the blood, into the body through the skin, lungs, and digestive system. The human body has developed a tolerance to most naturally occurring elements and molecules that it has contact with. So you know what? This stuff is man-made, so it can wreak havoc on the body. Let's keep going. It says, is nanotechnology safe for humans? It says, health risks of nanotechnology, how nanoparticles, can cause lung damage. Did you hear that? Can cause lung damage, and how the damage can be blocked. However, concerns are growing that it may have toxic effects, particularly damage to the lungs. Although nanoparticles have been linked to lung damage, it has not been clear how they can cause it. Let's keep going. Can nanobites, which is the actual thing that's in the nanoparticles, be removed? It says many researchers are looking into creating nanoscale robots called nanobots for the purpose of undertaking tasks where only robots on the nanoscale can be used, such as inside the human body. In case of failure or malfunction, a small EMP or MRI could, stop all that, right? All right. It says, can nanobots be hacked? Technically speaking, nanotechnology is any technological endeavor that deals with anything with a dimension of fewer than 100 nanometers. This is very small. With these developments comes the ever-present technological risk of hacking. So y'all, let's just think about this for a moment. What are these people really trying to do to us? What are they really trying to do to the human DNA? Do y'all still think that the COVID vaccine is really for your protection against coronavirus? Let's get it. It says the most commonly cited danger of nanobites is their purported ability to self-replicate. Nanobites aren't all that useful if you have to manufacture them yourselves. If you can make a few and then have them reproduce to make copies of themselves, that's a far more efficient way of getting enough of them for useful work. Y'all, so basically, I'm still trying to get y'all to see that this COVID vaccine is not what you think it is. All right, let's keep going. It says here, nowadays, the mind control could be developed with invasive neurotic technology as brain nanobites that can control directly the activity of victim neurons, stimulating or inhibiting them, and thus control different body functions like the motor functions. Y'all, brothers and sisters, Hebrews and Gentiles, listen to me. This shot is not what you think it is. Rethink getting the shot if you are thinking about getting it. It says the opening of nanobots is controlled by the locks, each one a special strand of DNA called an anther that binds to a target molecule, a receptor on the surface of cancer cells. For example, when the anther locks onto the target, the clamshell unzips and delivers the payload. Y'all, so look, basically what I'm trying to tell y'all, this COVID vaccine has nanoparticles in it. And what these nanoparticles do is control the human DNA. It changes the human DNA. What God designed us to be, this thing, this technology in this COVID shot changes the very DNA structure of your human DNA, what God designed you to be. It says DNA nanotechnology is a branch of nanotechnology concerned with the design, study, and application of synthetic, which is fake, which means face, structures based on DNA. DNA nanotechnology takes the advantage of the physical and chemical properties of DNA rather than the genetic information it carries. Come on, y'all. They're trying to change you from who you are. Okay? They're trying to change you from being human to a transhuman. These things are robots. You know, it's a machine. And if you look at this picture here, you see the SARS-CoV-2 virus right here. You can see the corona, the crown. And then you got the nanoparticle over here that's inside of the protein nanoparticle that's inside the vaccine. Once it hooks itself to that dead strand or whatever, and it gets into your bloodstream, it changes your DNA, man. I mean, it corrupts you. I mean, who knows that all these 5G cell towers that they got placed all over the world, in even each and every country, city, and town, that once you take this COVID shot, and once, you know, it gets into your blood and down into your DNA, that once they hit those 5G cell towers and they turn that thing on, that this thing could trigger something in that nanoparticle, that nanorobot that's inside these particles, and change your way of thinking, the way you do things. Y'all, we might see people killing their kids, eating babies, eating the dead, all kinds of things. Without this vaccine, you will not be able to work. You will not be able to go to the grocery store. You're not going to be able to go to the doctor. You're not going to be able to send your kids to school. You're not going to be able to do nothing except you take this shot, y'all. This shot.